You know, I wanted to save it, but I can't. I don't have a show tomorrow morning. I got to get, like, here's my thing. I want the Alyssa Clips real estate.
Yeah.
I want the Will Heron real estate. I want the Stalin I want all the real estate. This is in the Nick Rekieta filing to have the search warrant thrown out and other items thrown out, including whatever April said to the cops. So it starts, here's where my part starts.
Yeah.
They want this search warrant thrown out in part because I'm a bag of shit who has an axe to grind. Now, two things can be true at the same time.
Yeah.
I can be a bag of shit with an axe to grind. I can also be telling the truth about everything I said. So you don't just get search warrants by people who don't hate the other person.
Right.
You don't get search warrants just from people who like the person. And there isn't a litmus test where I have to think, oh, he's a swell guy. By the way, here's where you'll find the coke that we were all doing. You know, that's not how it works. So there's nothing wrong with what Nick's doing here. He's throwing up a Hail Mary. Everybody who fights their case does this.
Okay.
They try to have the warrant thrown out because if you can get the warrant thrown out, your whole case is good. You're done. You're finished because everything's the fruit of the poison tree. So you're good. So he's going to try to get the warrant thrown out. Why not? I'd do that.
Yeah.
I'd come up with every bullshit reason to throw out the warrant. And may I say, Nick does a good job of coming up with every bullshit reason that he thinks this warrant should be thrown out. So I was reading Kiwi Farms today, and some people were like, this piece of shit, he never tells the truth. Well, if he told the truth, he'd plead guilty already, and he'd be doing his probation. He's got to lie. He's got to obfuscate because he still wants to fight this thing and get it thrown out. So if you can muddy the waters enough to make a judge throw it out, now you've won. It's low risk. It's high reward. Here's where he gets to me. Why my part of this search warrant should be thrown out. Now, mind you, the mistake Nick is making is that even without me, they had plenty for a search warrant.
Oh, yeah.
Nick's stream where he had paint all over his nose and blabbering like a asshole, that was enough for a search warrant mixed with what the pastor said and everything else.
Yep.
I was icing on the cake. Now, Nick also tries to fight the stream, saying that, well, it's a copy, so it could be edited. It's not the authentic one because I deleted that one. And, like, you'd have to have the biggest boomer judge on earth to have that even come close to working. So, applicant, that's the detective. Okay. The applicant is the detective. Nick is the defendant. Detective asserted that defendant and Imholt, quote, may have recently had a falling out. I could make a lot of each other's wives jokes at this point, but none of them would make me look good. And you know what, by God, I'm trying to look classy here. Applicant asserted that defendant and Imholt may have recently had a falling out. This is an intentional misrepresentation by the applicant. Now, first of all, the detective doesn't know Nick. He wasn't smelling our dicks. Like whether or not we had a falling out or and by the way, I don't know what else to call it. I would call it a falling out. Right?
You guys broke up?
Yeah, like Nick's trying to paint this as like we were boyfriends.
The polycule split.
Yeah. And we had a breakup. Like he's like Mr. Imholt. Because remember, he asserts that nothing sexual ever happened. Everyone was just friends, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's...
But he treats this thing like it was a breakup. Like he's going to be throwing a sob story in here. Like, it's more than a falling out, okay? It's some real hard feelings were exchanged. In the May 22nd, 2024 video blog by Imholt, referenced by the detective, Imholt makes clear that his relationship with defendant had degraded far beyond a mere falling out. So Nick had said, peace. I said, peace, brother. That's what he said on a stream. That I was responding to his stream. I said, peace, brother. That's what Nick said about me. Imholt states at 104:32, peace, brother, is not what Nick told me. When I said I would not be hanging out with them anymore, the text I got was something about a flabby, misshapen, doughy piece of shit I am, and the world would be a better place if I myself. And that is what the text says. He focuses a lot on my body, you know, like a boyfriend would.
Yes.
Imholt, starting at 106:27, then states that he communicated to Nick, quote, okay, addict, and then Imholt blocked the defendant's number. This whole thing makes me look very funny.
How does this help Nick? How does he think this helps him? Before all this shit was public, okay, addict. Yeah, I'm gonna.
Why in a case where you are accused of doing drugs that you claim you don't do, would you include a text from someone that calls you an addict?
Yeah.
I don't understand it. Applicant omitted from his affidavit that Imholt had made several threats ranging from thinly veiled to full-throated against defendant.
Oh, really?
Wow, I'm a thinly veiled and a full-throated kind of a guy. Imholt stated, starting at 102:44, Nick, sweetie, baby, first of all, get help. There's nothing more demeaning than calling another man sweetie and baby. And sweetheart and pumpkin. It's just so demeaning. You're treating them like a bitch.
This isn't a court document.
I know, this is what I love. This is immortalized in the annals of Candy, Ojai County forever. Imholt
Wait, you did anal too?
That's why he's so mad.
Oh.
Imholt stated, Nick, sweetie baby, first of all, get help. Second of all, you better hope, and I said this last night, you better pray to God I don't say what I want. If I said what I want, that's Mount Vesuvius. Let's make a quick rule for Nicky boy here. You keep my name out of your... So we got to go to the next page for keep my name out of your mouth. You guys to look at what they had to cite. They had to cite the Steel Toe Morning Show episode from 5/22/24, the title of which is A More Perfect Reich. That's going to be in court documents forever. A more perfect Reich. So I wrote, so then it says, keep your name out my mouth in ways like that, and I can promise I'll be as good a boy as I can be. Now, the reason they didn't put this in the search warrant is because it wasn't relevant to what they were searching for.
No.
I'll be as good a boy. Imholt then proceeded, and tell me this doesn't sound like me. Imholt then proceeded at 103:31 to compare himself to Lefty Rosenthal, popularly analogized as Ace Rothstein from the film Casino, and stated, you want to keep a guy like that happy, right? Because he could blow your shit up, right? Imholt made this comparison and similar threats at multiple points during the video. Applicant, that's the detective, misrepresented both the extent of the falling out between Imholt and defendant and Imholt's overt personal animus, bringing his statements well outside of the realm of those of a concerned citizen. Now, here's the deal.
Yeah.
I was responding to what Nick had said about me in the Coke stream.
Yeah.
What they leave out of this is that Nick was a babbling dunce about me on the Coke stream. So I decided that I would, correct the record a little bit. Applicant stated that on 5/22/24, Imholt did a video blog where he talked about Nicholas and insinuated controlled substance use, and also referenced a video blog that Nicholas put online, that's the Coke stream, that has since been taken off the internet. Imholt clearly states, starting at 55:26 in the blog, referencing Alyssa clips. So Alyssa, honey, you're in there as well. So this woman who clips a bunch of shit from my show, from Nick's show, DM'd me this. It was Nick telling a disjointed, drunken story on his stream. Here's the clip that got me riled up. Why did you put this in here? The accompanying clip that Imholt plays in the video blog is 1 minute and 11 seconds long. Applicant states that defendant's video blog is 4 hours and 4 minutes long. Applicant, therefore, knew that the video presented by Imholt in his video blog is an altered rendition of Rekieta's video and cannot be authenticated. Now, here's where Nick's problem is.
Where's that?
The detective has the full video. The detective had the full video from, I believe, and I could be wrong here, from when it was up on Rumble.
Oh.
He was using the clip that I played just to get my story, to get what I was saying, to assert the controlled substance use and everything else. So Nick's conflating two things there that don't necessarily go together.
Right.
But again, this is a Hail Mary move to try and get this thing thrown out. I get it. I understand. So that's the end of my part of this. And again, they have to reference A More Perfect Reich 4 times. Now, okay, so that's it for me. And then there's the part about April. But I think I can tell you guys. I did get a text about the April stuff.
Okay.
Here it is.
What's that bitchy? What did I bitch about?
You're fine. They're just giving you shit.
Screamed about something. I remember that now.
Okay, so, I mean, before we move on to the April stuff, I guess the part that includes me, I just I just find it to be silly and funny.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't think it's like, again, it's a harmless little. Anonymous says those footnotes dead. The fact that they had to put a more perfect Reich in the footnotes is great. Triple N says cuckoldry has been immortalized. Yes, that will never go away, ever. And you said it in the first couple sentences. Nick, why are you doing this? This guy called you an addict in what you filed numerous times.
Yeah. Makes no sense.
Find a better way to go about it, my son. So that was, I don't have anything like concrete legalese to give you on that. I just thought it was really funny. That they got me quoting movies in there. They got, okay, addict, and then blocked the defendant. Nick's attorney is unnecessarily antagonistic to the detective. Very gay behavior. Seems like Nick wrote it. It does seem to be in Nick's writing. And no, Anonymous, I don't think PPP and Andy made it into the court documents, but I just thought it was funny. I don't think my part plays a big part in this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether I'm dead or alive for this whole thing, I think they've got their case, in my opinion. I just thought it was funny to be mentioned in court documents and have my show quoted and then footnoted as a more perfect Reich. I don't think anything could have been better.